All right, guys, welcome back to another video on the super duper world of sports. And today we're going to be looking at the NFL Week 2 power rankings. So let's get right into it. Number 32, we have the Jets. They really struggled against the Ravens. Flacco wasn't able to move the ball at all very much, and they play a pretty tough Cleveland defense this week, so I don't have much faith in them. Next up is the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all know that the Colts are prone to losing to the Jaguars, but just on paper, team talent-wise, I think the Colts will win here. Houston Texans versus the Denver Broncos. Again, a very unfavorable matchup for the Texans, both defensively and offensively. Broncos' defense can be considered elite, and their offense, it will be too much for the Texans' defense. Next is Detroit facing the Washington Commanders. I think Carson Wentz is going to be able to torch the secondary. We saw how they're utilizing more receivers than just Terry McLaurin now, using Jahan Dotson, you're using Curtis Samuel, and of course still having Terry McLaurin in the mix. It's a dangerous offense, as well as Antonio Gibson. Should not forget to mention him. Next up is the Falcons facing the Los Angeles Rams. This is about as tough a matchup as you can get, almost the toughest possible matchup for the Falcons. Cooper Kupp is going to have a field day. Matt Stafford is going to move down the field at ease, and Marcus Mariota and the Falcons should not have any particular success moving against the stout Rams defense. Number 27, Chicago Bears. Playing at Lambeau is always intimidating, so that adds to this. But of course, it's Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. So I can't see them winning here either way. Just all jokes aside, though, talent-wise, it's closer than ever before. That's for sure. But I can't see them winning. Carolina Panthers versus the New York Giants this week. After seeing what the Giants could do last week against the Titans, I had to move the Panthers down a little bit. I definitely think that the Giants have a fighting chance here, and I never thought I'd say that. But hey, stuff that we never believed to be true, stuff that is really unrealistic is coming to life. So, what do you say? New York Giants right above the Carolina Panthers at 25. Saquon Barkley is, he showed that he's coming back to his old form, his old dominant form. Elite running back. If he can keep this up, then it should be an absolutely easy win. Seattle Seahawks at number 24 facing the San Francisco 49ers, a division rival. I think it was kind of a fluke. The win at Denver was a little bit of a fluke, in my opinion. So, and the 49ers, Trey Lance should be able to bounce back from his kind of low point against the Bears. Geno Smith, he's not the worst, excuse me. He's an okay field manager, but he should struggle against the very talented Niners defense. Number 23 is the Commanders, of course, facing the Lions, as we mentioned earlier. The defense as well should be able to hold up pretty well against the Lions, and they should be placing special emphasis on Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift, as well as TJ Hawkinson. I mean, that Detroit team is getting better, man, but not just yet. Arizona Cardinals against the Las Vegas Raiders this week is a favorable matchup for the Raiders, unfortunately. I think, the Raiders, it was just, Carr didn't have his best day against the Chargers. We all know that. He has off days. He has great days. It's a little bit hard to tell with him, but I think he should be able to facilitate the field fairly easily against this Cardinals defense. And I'm not counting out the Cardinals, but it's really, they got to bounce back big time after losing by 23 to the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Next one is 21 is the Patriots facing the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just beat the Cincinnati Bengals, who I had at number 4 last week in the power rankings. So, of course, Mac Jones is banged up. You have TJ Watt on the other side for for the Steelers is out for 6 to 8 weeks. I'm pretty sure it was with a pectoral injury. Najee Harris is good to go, he said. So that adds to the you know that adds to the problems the Patriots are going to have to face. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take this one home easily. Next one is the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have them so low because they only won by 1 point against the Falcons. Yes, I get it. They scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. That's just a casual Falcons choke. Any team can do that against the Falcons. You know, it's just a natural thing they do. It's a natural process. But like the fact that they only scored 3 points in the three quarters preceding the fourth, it's a little bit concerning, unfortunately. So I understand it was much better in the fourth quarter, and that is promising. But against this Tampa Bay defense and the offense, quite frankly, should be a tough time for them. And the Dallas Cowboys at number 19 facing the Cincinnati Bengals. Sans Dak Prescott now. So that's automatic loss. I mean, Cooper Rush is not going to be able to throw the ball in a way that is going to make this Cowboys succeed, especially against this very improved Bengals defense. They got DJ Reader up front, Jesse Bates, Von Bell, and the safeties as the safeties. Got a bunch of pretty quality cornerbacks. I think it's going to be real tough for the Cowboys to win this one. Cleveland Browns uh, versus the New York Giants, or excuse me, the Jets this week. As I said earlier, Joe Flacco is not. It's it's tough to say that he's going to be able to drive the Jets more than like 60 yards downfield at max. If they get that opportunity, he's going to be able to drive them 40 yards, like 50 yards max. But against this great improving young secondary and just Miles Garrett, uh, he's the main thing up front. But because of them, it's going to be a real problem for the Jets, even though the Browns' offense is lackluster. At number 17, Denver Broncos facing the Houston Texans. Very favorable matchup on both sides of the ball. Should be able to limit Davis Mills and that Texans offense with their elite defense. Uh, in all regards, the Broncos are superior here, so I don't see why they don't win. Number 16. And by the way, the Broncos, of course, were placed so low at number 17, even below the Colts, as you can see here, just because of their loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Number 16, though, the 0-1 Colts, placing the Jacksonville Jaguars, to whom they always tend to lose to, which I just can never figure out why. But, I mean, as I said earlier when analyzing the Jaguars' position, on paper, the Colts are much better. If Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor can keep their act up, and Matt Ryan is able to do half as good as he did on Sunday, then it should be quite an easy win for the Colts. Raiders are up next, facing the Arizona Cardinals, as discussed earlier. If Devontae Adams continues his dominance like this, and I forgot to mention earlier, actually, Josh Jacobs, it's imperative that they involve him more than they have been. He rushed for 10. He had 10 carries for 57 yards last week. That's 5.7 yards per carry. That's very efficient. I mean, if you give him the volume, he'll give you the production. I mean, it's just a give get thing. Win-win. So play Josh Jacobs, and they'll be in good line for a successful outing against Arizona. Number 14, Tennessee Titans are no longer facing the Giants. Okay, so that is not up to date. They're facing the Bills. Of course, they're 0-1 because they lost to the Giants. So that's embarrassing, man. That's really embarrassing. But the only reason they're in the top 15 right now is because I haven't lost hope. That's it. Like, Robert Woods is back. he's going to be able to contribute quite a bit. Traylon Burks, we saw a little bit of Traylon Burks, what he can do in there. Uh, I mean, surprisingly, although majority of the workload didn't go to Burks, and even Derrick Henry didn't show much, but I think that's all going to improve. Even with a very strong and formidable Bills defense, I think it's got to Derrick Henry's got to be involved. I mean, I don't care if the Buffalo Bills run defense is stacked. You got to use him, dude. At least like target him. If you target him, then Derrick Henry can run after the touch. We all know that. So we'll have to see how that goes against the Buffalo Bills. Number 13, Steelers coming off a big win against the Cincinnati Bengals, facing the New England Patriots. As I mentioned earlier, Mac Jones is not in the best condition, so the Pittsburgh Steelers defense should reap tons of benefits from that. Damian Harris has been doing all right, but as I said, the Steelers defense should have minimal to no problem. And as for the offense, Mitch Trubisky showed a little bit of what he can do and what his skill is like. Najee Harris said he's good to go. He's going to play. So all is good at the running back position. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. You got all those guys ready to go. George Pickens as well. So, yeah, I think the talent is going to get him there. Number 12, Miami Dolphins coming off a win against their divisional rival, the New England Patriots. Facing the Baltimore Ravens this week, definitely I don't think this is going to be a win for them. Placed in number 12 because of Tyreek Hill, because of Jalen Waddle, and because they were able to hold the Patriots to only 7 points. And I believe that shutdown corner Xavier Howard, he should be on Rashad Bateman most of the time, so that shouldn't be too much of a concern for Miami. And as long as Tua is able to deliver the dots he's supposed to, Miami has a chance to actually win this. So I have hope in Miami this week. Number 11, San Francisco 49ers. Placed at 11 because they lost to Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. Facing a rather easy opponent this week, though, the Seattle Seahawks. They should have a little bit less momentum off their loss, but I think Trey Lance is in for a little bit of room for improvement, and now Jeff Wilson is their starting running back, but Deebo Samuel should be having a field day as well with the weak Seahawks defense. And into the top 10, we have actually the Green Bay Packers. So I get it. They lost to the Vikings, right? But like Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, man. And they're playing in Lambeau. Like there is no better combination than the Packers playing the Bears and it being at Lambeau. So I don't see a reason how the Bears can win this one. I think the win against the Niners was kind of a fluke, to be honest. So Packers are taking this one home. Number 9, Cincinnati Bengals are facing the Dallas Cowboys, who are very short-handed on offense. And so I truly do believe that Cincinnati has been successful in at least showing the talent of their players so far. And by that I mean like we've seen big sparks from every player, and that should definitely continue against the Cowboys. Not an exceptional defense, definitely not bad, but they should be able to move the ball relatively well and get a bunch of stops on defense. Number 8, Eagles facing the Minnesota Vikings, I believe, on Monday. Eagles after their big win. Sure, it was the Lions. I mean, but 38 points. They had a lot of promising results. AJ Brown, we saw how important he really is to the offense, even in such a run-heavy offense. Jalen Hurts continues to show his dual threat ability. And the only problem is going to be Justin Jefferson, in my opinion. It's just going to be tough to contain him throughout the game. But if they manage to even like attempt to do that and even come close to succeeding, then I think they have a big chance to win this game. Number 7, Los Angeles Chargers, playing on Thursday night football against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Keenan Allen is out, unfortunately for them. So that should be a little bit of a downgrade. But I don't see any other disadvantages to the Chiefs. In fact, I mean, they have arguably better receiving options, a better top receiving option, that is, than the Chiefs. Juju Smith-Schuster versus Mike Williams, you decide. But I think they do have a real fighting chance here. If J.C. Jackson's able to come back by TNF, then that should really severely boost them as well. 25 picks in the past 4 years. That is ridiculous. Next up, at number 6, the Vikings, actually, versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This is because their ranking being so high is because they beat the Green Bay Packers. Of course, Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown is a major concern. They're going to have to be able to run drives longer than they have been able to. And Kirk Cousins, the field manager, going to have to make sure that the work is split more evenly and not just feed every single ball to Justin Jefferson. And make sure that Jalen Hurts is not able to run at ease and scramble out of the pocket whenever he wants. So if those are done, I see a win for Vikings here. Into the top 5 with the Baltimore Ravens facing the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson's dual threat ability obviously tops my, interests in this game for the Ravens. Rashad Bateman, definitely going to be covered by Xavier Howard, so it's not going to be. You shouldn't be expecting an absolute spectacular outing from him this week. But the other receivers should be involved quite a bit. Devin Duvernay, we saw how much of a red zone threat he actually can be. I think J.K. Dobbins might be coming back this week. If he does, then that's a major upgrade as well. And containing their defense isn't as fearful and explosive as one used to be, but definitely an improvement on last year when they were plagued by injuries. Number 4, Los Angeles Rams would have been higher if they didn't lose to the Bills, 31-10, facing the Atlanta Falcons, so that puts them up a little bit here. Just a very easy matchup, nothing much more to say. Defense and offense should easily outrun the Atlanta Falcons. Number 3, the 1-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, facing their very, very bitter division rival, the New Orleans Saints, and it remains to be seen if they're going to get revenge on them after getting beat so many times. Tom Brady, whenever he's played the Saints in the past 2 years, I think he's lost all of them. I think all of them or all but one. They've given him a lot of trouble. I can see this trend continuing, especially because if you've looked at the recent injury report of the Buccaneers, it's astonishing. Almost their entire offense is injured and didn't practice in the most recent practices. So it's going to be a little bit tough to see to predict who will win this. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs facing the LA Chargers on Thursday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes, we saw, of course, removing Tyreek Hill doesn't make much of a difference. They still put up 44 points against the Cardinals. Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce, of course, is still there. All of those guys got involved. I definitely think the offense should be high-powered and kicked on, ready to go. Defense remains to be seen if they can contain Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and the Chargers offense. But I have high confidence for them. And at number 1, of course, the Buffalo Bills facing the Tennessee Titans on Monday. So Josh Allen should get his way all the time against the Titans defense. And honestly, I think the Bills defense is going to be able to shut down most of the Titans offense. Derrick Henry can have some breathing room. But other than that, it should be a tough day for the Titans. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching Week 2 NFL Power Rankings. We'll be back next week before Thursday Night Football with some more Power Rankings this time for Week 3. And yeah, see you guys. I'm out.